My job right now is to prepare, is to continue to improve, to focus on what I need to improve on. I think there's certainly still, a number of things. So that's what I'm focused on. I trust the plan. I trust, the coaches, and I, look forward to helping this team in whatever way I'm asked to.
That's right.
And now we welcome in Ryan Clark, Super Bowl champion, our NFL analyst here. Do you think Daniel Jones should be starting?
Absolutely. And you can look at me like that, and Max, you making the face. I know it's your team, right? Now, Dave Gettleman, they're going to go with conventional wisdom, and they're going to think about the history of the game and the way this thing works and how the season's going to start, what happened when we tried to replace Eli Manning with Geno Smith. All of these things are going to happen. But when you drafted Daniel Jones, you went with your guy, right? Dave Gettleman sat up there, and he even said at the time, he actually made us pump our brakes a little bit that he might not play in 2019. But we know what we have in Eli Manning, and this starts out, and it's not a competition. It wasn't a competition between Matt Flynn and Russell Wilson in Seattle 6 years back, but it became one when the rookie outplayed the veteran. And that's what's happening here. And it's not about what they've done in the preseason, because Eli really hasn't gotten the snaps. But when you watch Daniel Jones, if this was the guy you believed he was, if this was the reason you went Daniel Jones instead of Josh Allen out of Kentucky when you needed a pass rusher at 6, if you believed he was this dude,
that's why you don't start.
and he's shown you this. Here's the other thing I like. Dave Gettleman, I said it when he drafted him as a joke. I was like, Dave Gettleman's a G, right? He went out and said, you know what, this is my guy. I'm going to take him. Another G move he made when they had the quarterbacks in the draft last year, he said, you know what, I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley because he's the best player in the draft. Right. So why do we have to depend on history? Why do we have to remember that once upon a time, Eli made a couple of big throws in the Super Bowl, and think about now? This guy is ready to play now. Go ahead.
No. Because I want to leave it to y'all, because he's more passionate about the Giants than I am, and you're the football expert. You played, I didn't. I want to defer. But I want to say a couple of things. Number one, G could very simply mean he's a giant.
Or a
he's a New York Giant. Or a gentleman. I like even that better. Okay. So some of us say gangster, but no, I'm not giving him that. Right? He's a giant. That's number one.
Frank Costello.
That's number one. Number two, outside of Daniel Jones, most of their focus has been on the defensive side of the ball. So for me personally, Ryan, what I pay attention to, I'm saying Daniel Jones, he looks good in preseason. Okay, he might be better than Eli Manning at this particular moment in time. Of course, we've been saying about Eli Manning. So that's a given. The other part is, I got Sherman as my head coach. I'm not sold on him. Mr. 15 and 30, whatever the hell his record is. Okay, 30% winning percentage. I know that. Then we've got you got Sterling Shepard, who played all 16 games. You got Evan Ingram. I got all of that. Saquon Barkley. But there's questions about your offensive line. There's questions about whether or not you have a true number one at the wide receiver spot. I'm of the mindset that when you got a guy that's clearly the future of your franchise, clearly the future franchise player outside, even though with Saquon Barkley, that wouldn't be the case. The bottom line is, why not protect him by ensuring over the first couple of weeks?
I wanted to get to this. I wanted to get to this.
That's
I agree with you on the merits. It's Daniel Jones at this moment looks like he's 10 times the quarterback Eli is at this moment, right? Like, who knows, because he's only getting reps against the twos.
Right, 100%.
But Eli's not even getting reps. So, okay, fine. That's why you protect them. I know things have changed, right? I know guys are getting reps or getting in games right away because you have that rookie contract to make hay before you got to pay the guy, and then it's harder to put a team around him. I get that. So he should play this year at a certain point. But Eli Manning was taken with the first overall pick in the draft. So the Giants had to trade up for him. Phillip Rivers and I think it was Sean Merriman and I think it was Nate Kading. Like, they gave up not just the draft pick, but a haul to get Eli. And they had Kurt Warner on the squad, who lost his job to Mark Bulger to injury. And then Bulger kept winning. He was like 8-0, so they never got the job back. Kurt Warner was an MVP. And by the way, in the future, had great seasons with Arizona still. And Kurt Warner was playing well. But the Giants were like, we don't care. Kurt Warner's good and everything. We're going to use him as a tackling dummy until Eli's ready behind this offensive line and everything. We don't know what the offensive line is going to be like, even though they have more talent. But let's see them gel together.
Okay.
Let Eli take these shots for the first couple weeks of the season at least before you just throw Daniel Jones out there.
Right. Listen, Pat Shurmur is not in this situation that the guy I'm about to mention. But you know who wishes he would have started the young rookie over the veteran? Hugh Jackson. right? When Hugh Jackson was protecting Baker Mayfield or doing whatever he did when he made the decision to go with Tyrod Taylor, I bet he wishes, man, had I got this other dude in who's a dude, my job may be different. I may not have had to go to Cincinnati and be a special assistant. And when I look at this situation, I understand why Dave Gettleman may not, or why he probably won't, right? Because what you do is you let Eli Manning start when it shows that when he shows you that he can't get to the playoffs and he's no good. Now you put Daniel Jones in, the season's over, no expectations. If he doesn't play well, oh, he's just learning, we stink anyway. If he plays well, he's the savior. I get that. But we're past those days, guys. We're past those days where you have to try to wait to figure out if you have a dude. When you go and draft him, if he can play, you let him play. It's the ship has sailed with Eli when you try to replace it with Geno Smith.
Yeah, but here's the part that you're missing. Don't bring up Cleveland. That was a Hugh Jackson situation, which is why Baker Mayfield held it against him. In New York City, they have proven ownership will intervene to protect Eli Manning. We don't give a damn how he looks. When we care about him. No. What I'm saying is if you're Shermer, don't act like it's just a football decision. Oh, no. It's politics 101 in that situation. It's Tish and Mara and them boys going like this. We love ourselves some Eli. Why are you doing that? You sure you want to be? Why are you benching him? You got a GM and a coach that was fired for benching Eli Manning. Think about that.
Here's the only drawback to starting Daniel Jones at the beginning of the season is this.
Okay.
If you start him, you can't pull him.
That's true. This is my next point. You guys are anticipating everything. This is my next point. There are some guys I thought should start week 1. Baker Mayfield, because Cleveland had talent. They'd been stockpiling talent. They were in a position actually to compete right away. And Baker has that kind of personality. I don't think the Jets should have started Darnold as early as they did. I think Josh Allen got in a little too early. I think these are guys who would have benefited from holding the clipboard a little more and letting the team, putting them in a lower pressure situation because of what you just mentioned. If you put the kid in week 1, and he starts to falter, which he will because the Giants aren't that talented. By the way, they don't have any receivers. The guy they brought in is hurt to replace the guy who was half the receiver. Like, there's no. So if he starts to falter, what do? You got no move. But what you laid out the first time works. Let Eli take the shots. Let the Giants be out of the playoff picture. Get the kid experience under lower pressure. Next year you go.
That's the weak move. Right? That's the move that we feel like we have to do to save our jobs. But Dave Gettleman, you showed us you don't care about saving your job when you went to get your guy. Because the easy pick was to get Josh Allen and wait until 17 and get Daniel Jones. But you said he was that dude. And what he's shown us, because we can see it now through Pat Shermer's attitude and through the way that he approaches us in the press conference, now he's smiling, right? When he drafted Daniel Jones, he sat in his chair and he was slumped over and he had the underbite. Right? All that's changed now. The underbite. So if you believe that he's that type of player, stop worrying about what Eli Manning used to do. You're right. He was drafted first overall. I could also still run at the time. Matter of fact, when they drafted him, I was his teammate. That's how long ago it was. It's time to get over that.
Hold on. But my point is you're talking like we disagree with you. It's not that we disagree with you. It's that we're saying, look at the politics of the situation involving the New York Giants.
And I'm saying,
you can't use Eli as a tackling dummy.
Do that.
They use Kurt Warner. They can't use Eli Manning. Protect Daniel Jones.
Not if Stephen A. Smith and his feelings about what those families, the Maras and the Tisches, feel about Eli Manning is true. They had no loyalty to Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was a tackling dummy. They understood that they wanted Eli Manning to be the starting quarterback, and Kurt Warner was just there to hold the place. He actually had a winning record.
They'd say something like $17 million, something crazy like that if they just cut Eli.
When they pulled him. And so now, when you look at this situation, it's different. Why would we use Eli to tackle him? We love Eli.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
We don't want his career.
What do you think's about to happen?
We don't want his career to go out like that.
All right, guys, we gotta wrap this up. But Ryan, thank you for joining our set.
Thank you, Ryan.
Underbite.
Can you show me the underbite one more time? Thank you. All right, Ryan Clark, you guys won't want to miss First Take next week because our 2019 NFL season